Right, so what we're going to be doing today is something a bit more light-hearted because the last couple videos, well, not the Witcher video, I was quite positive in that one actually, but the last video that I did and the Disney Speedstorm video that I did before that one, I was quite negative. So I wanted to come in here and do a video that was just a bit fun, not going on about like the season tour or like talking about monetization or anything in the game in that respect. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be rating every kart in Disney Speedstorm from 1 to 10. Start off with the regular, normal Mickey and Friends kart. I like this one. It's essentially just Herbie. It's essentially just a souped up Volkswagen Beetle. When you get it normally, it is just a Volkswagen Beetle. But I like this as a like standard normal car. Like how it looks normally, like when you just unlock it, or when you just unlock a character, a Mickey and Friends character, and how this looks at base is fine. And I like it essentially just being like a little nod to Herbie, if that was the idea in the first place. It kind of looks like a beach buggy as well, which makes sense for the vibe of the Mickey and Friends characters in general. So yeah, it works, it fits, it makes sense, it doesn't look weird seeing like Mickey Mouse, Goofy, Donald Duck in this vehicle. I do think it looks a bit generic and a bit bland, and that's going to be a big problem with a lot of these vehicles. There's a lot of the early ones, a lot of the ones in the base game are very generic, just like vehicles. But I'm gonna give this a solid 7. It's not doing anything to offend me. It matches the vibe, but it's not doing anything super special either. We then have the Mulan one. This is nothing to me. This is nothing special to me in any way. I think I'm going to give this a 5. Very middle of the road. It looks pretty with like shaders and stuff, but I think just the generic one that you get at the start doesn't do anything for me. Like this doesn't really match a vibe. This doesn't really scream Mulan. This doesn't scream like Mulan. It should be in this. I think this could be a cart for any collection. This could be like a generic thing that you get in like Rocket League. I think that's a big problem with a lot of the base carts, is they look like stuff you would find in Rocket League. And I don't like that game. So I give this basically a 5. It doesn't do anything special for me. I don't find it offensive in any way. There's certainly worse. And it works, it looks nice with, and it's one of the more unique ones anyway, because only two characters have it at the moment. That being said, that doesn't really give it that many marks up. But it doesn't fill the vibe of Mulan. It doesn't look like something. It doesn't look like it's something that's unique to Mulan. We then have the Pirates of the Caribbean. I think I appreciate this more, but I'm still going to give it a 5 because it's used for so many characters. It does kind of look like, it does look like a ship going, it does look like a ship that's like rushing through waves. Like the fenders or the sides of the vehicle do look like waves. I think it's just got too many gaps. I don't like the gappage on this. Like having the whole engine basically visible from the side. Like the gaps for the suspenders on the front. It's just got too many holes in it. Especially at the front. There's too much gappage for me. And it certainly more fits the vibe of Pirates of the Caribbean than, say, the Mulan one does. But I just think they could have done so much more. And it looks like the wrong kind of boat. It looks like a speedboat as opposed to a pirate ship. Does that matter that much? I'm not sure, but it fits the vibe perfectly fine. But I still give it a 5 because it's also used for a lot of characters. It's not nearly good enough. It's not nearly a nice enough looking vehicle to be used on 6 characters. Especially with 4 of those characters being new. The Hercules one, or the Hercules vehicle, this is a bar of soap. This is like a 2. It doesn't fill the vibe of Hercules. It doesn't look Greek. It doesn't look like, it doesn't look unique. It just looks like a generic kart that you would find in any game. Also, the back is way too open for me. I don't like having like exposed bits, and even the front is doing a bit for me because the whole like hood is exposed. I really don't like this as a kart. It just looks too flat. I think it's too one-dimensional for me. Like it just wants to be a slope. And it doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit the vibe. Like the Hercules characters don't look right in it. Just a strange choice for a vehicle. It looks like a bar of soap. That's a 2 for me. The Beauty and the Beast one, it's too small. You know, for 2 of the characters being brawlers, this doesn't give me, like, both Beast and Gaston are too big for this. Their character models are too big for this car. This car was made with Belle in mind, maybe. I feel like this would work more for like the Jungle Book even then, I feel like this maybe works more for like a Pirates of the Caribbean, but it's also got that problem of just looking like a Rocket League car again. It doesn't scream Beauty and the Beast. When you look at this, you don't think the Beast would be in that or Gaston would be in that. It's too sleek and it's too small. It's not bulky enough. So yeah, I give that like a 3. And then we've got the opposite problem. It's too bulky. Like, this is the problem with having a collection that's got characters that are so differently proportioned weight-wise. That looks slightly bad. Like, for Baloo, this works. This kind of works for the Jungle Book as well, because it is like an all-terrain vehicle. So it fits the vibe of the Jungle Book. It's like a jungle crawler, or like a jungle jeep. So it fits that vibe brilliantly, and it looks like it was kind of like cobbled together. It doesn't look like pristine. It's got one of those like trolls on it, or like pulleys or like attachment things at the front, and it's got one at the back for like a trailer. I like all the little details on this. I feel like it would... I feel like it's just too... This is the problem with having like collection wide vehicles as opposed to having individual vehicles for each character. Because for Baloo, this is like a 7. This is like a 7 or 8 for Baloo. For Mowgli, this is a 4. So I think that rounds out to being like a 6. Because it feels great for Baloo. It's too big for Mowgli. It's too big for Mowgli. So yeah, that's a 6 for the Jungle Book. We then have the Monsters Inc. Kart, which I feel like they should have had like a bigger... I feel like they should have had like a monster truck. Because this is a cool looking vehicle. But again, it looks like something from Rocket League. It's a cool looking vehicle. The wheels I've got on it are freaking crazy. But it doesn't look like something that Sully might, maybe Randall, but it doesn't look like anything any of the characters would actually drive or choose. And yeah, it's just too slopey. It looks too similar to the that one's got more gappage. Yeah, this one's got like the doors are weird. That's like a 4 for me. It doesn't fit the vibe the vehicle just looks too small for the characters. It just doesn't work for me. Figment. This is a sleek freaking vehicle. Again, it looks like something from Rocket League, but I don't think that matters. It does not fit the vibe of Figment at all. Like, it's too sleek for that. This looks more like... This looks like more like something you would give to, say, the freaking bowler hat guy. This looks like a villain's vehicle. This looks like something you would give to, like, Syndrome. It's too sleek, I think. Maybe that's just because I've got it in black. But I think the regular one is, like, in purple, which looks just as sleek. Yeah, this is, like, the regular, and that is just as sleek as this. I think overall, as a vehicle, it looks great. As an actual vehicle, this is like an 8 for me. This is an 8. And it's got bonus points because it is unique to Figment. Figment is the only character with this. I just wish it looked like more of a unique vehicle. Because it doesn't look like a unique vehicle. It looks very generic, and a lot of the base game vehicles, or the season 1 vehicles, do kind of just blend into each other. Toy Story. This doesn't fit like a vibe for Toy Story, I don't think. Like, this just looks like a car that you could give to any character. And I think the thing that's hurting Toy Story so much and bringing that down is that there is literally a car, a go-kart, that exists in that movie universe that you could have literally just taken that and ran with it. You could have given every character them like RC. And that would have, you know, it would have looked unique, it would have been thematically accurate, or given them a go-kart that looked like that anyway. The Toy Story kart is like a 1, because there was something there already that they could have pulled from. And another collection that came out very recently did do that. So they get bottom marks for not doing the obvious and better choice. I just don't think this is thematically accurate. It doesn't look like a vehicle that any of these characters would actually drive. It's just annoying because there was a car there that exists in that universe that you could have just ripped it from. And the kart doesn't look like a toy. It doesn't have like a toy aesthetic. I mean, you could probably say that everything has like a plasticky sheen over it, so everything in the game looks like a toy anyway. But you know what I mean. Lilo and Stitch, I think this is a 7. Thematically accurate, it's a beach buggy, and the movie takes place in Hawaii. I think Gantu looks weird in it, and Jumba maybe looks weird in it, and they would have they would have benefited from having bigger vehicles. But then, you know, Lilo, Stitch, and Angel would look weird in a bigger vehicle. I think for the theming of Lilo and Stitch, this looks like a vehicle that could exist in that world, and this looks like something that those characters, obviously not Lilo, would drive. I think what lets this down is just the weirdness of 90% of it just is let down by the weirdness of the actual character designs in the Lilo and Stitch category. Like, these characters, Lilo should not be driving. Stitch is a freaking alien. Angel's an alien. Gantu is huge, and Jumba is round. So none of the characters look right driving any vehicle. But I think for the movie that the vehicle is trying to fits it quite well. So that is an 8 for me. Aladdin. This is like a 2. It doesn't fit the aesthetic. I get it's like meant to be like a buggy. It's meant to be like a doom buggy and like sand and stuff. But I think this doesn't scream this. It does actually look like something you would see like driving through a desert. So it kind of works for me. I'm getting freaked out by these lower and higher doors. Are the doors meant to be like that? So like I get it, but like they could have done a lot more with this premise. They could have made these vehicles look so much more unique and fit the style even more. I think that's my issue with a lot of these carts, is that they are safe. They are so safe. A lot of them are missing that Disney je ne sais quoi, or like that sense of fun. They do all just kind of look like cartoonized versions of vehicles you could find in like other games that have a similar art style to this. Or they look like cartoonized versions of like real world vehicles. Then we've got the Oswald cart. And I think for me, you know, Oswald is an old-timey character. This is an old-timey style, like Speed Racer. I think as much as I think the grill is doing a lot for this. The grill is doing so much for this. This is like a 7 for me. Thematically accurate. The characters look great driving it. The only issue is that you won't see this a lot because Oswald and Hortensia suck. I think that's the only thing drawing it back, is that Oswald and Hortensia suck. But as far as feeling right for the characters that are going to be driving that vehicle, it's kind of perfect. That's a 7 for me. This is a 5 for me. It looks like a freaking hill. I don't like that it's just... It looks angry. It doesn't look like the vibe of Frozen. I don't think that the Frozen characters don't look weird in it, because they all have similar, like, body shapes, apart from Olaf, who's just a snowman. But even he doesn't look weird in it, because he's not, like, huge or... He's not, like, huge or anything. He's just a weird freaking character in general. But I don't see where this design came from. Especially because I feel like the characters who typically don't drive cars or don't come from a movie where cars would be prevalent should have gotten more like wagon style, or like they should have gotten more like steampunk style with the carts. Like if this had like some ice shards coming off of it, I feel like this would benefit from like Elsa getting a like souped up version, like how we've got with like Davy Jones with the Mickey and Friends characters. I feel like this would definitely like benefit from like having some ice coming off of it and actually feeling like it's something that Elsa has kind of like taken over and souped up. I feel like it's as it stands at the moment, it's like a 5. It's not doing anything for me. The Wall-E vehicle. This is a 10. It's literally Wall-E's face. Their headlights are just Wall-E's eyes. This is the most thematically accurate, and it looks the most unique to the characters as it could go. Going with an actual buggy style makes sense for traversing a wasteland. It definitely feels more thematic to the first half of the movie. This doesn't work for Eve. I will say it doesn't work for Eve. It's just a nice looking vehicle. It works extremely well for Wall-E. I feel like I have to dock it a point just because it doesn't work well for Eve. So there won't be a 10. Well, there probably will be a 10. But that won't be the 10. But this it's as close to perfect as it can get. And it's the first... It showed the first, like... It did show, like... Gameloft knows how to design carts. Where have they been? This is another 9. It looks... It's kind of still taken that, like, fish. It looks like a fish. And that's the most thematically accurate thing. I don't know if all of the seats have that if all of the seats have that seashell on it, then yeah, it's a 9. It's a little too sleek for Ursula, but that's why it's a 9, not a 10. It's a little too sleek for King Triton, but as a Little Mermaid cart, thematically accurate, it looks great whether they're in the vehicle or not. It's just a great looking vehicle. The Wreck-It Ralph. This vehicle is too big for Vanellope, Felix, and King Candy, and it's too small for Ralph himself. Where does that leave you? It's a vehicle that was created entirely for Calhoun. I think that gives this like a 4. It's not a bad looking vehicle, and it kind of looking like a plow kind of works, because it looking like a thing from Rocket League kind of works for this character grouping, this collection's benefit, because of the whole video game aesthetic. It certainly works better than the track just being one part of the movie. I don't like it that much because of the scale of it. I don't think it was scaled properly for the characters in the collection. It pretty much just looks, it pretty much only looks good when Calhoun's in it. But yeah, that's like a 5 for me. Maybe a 6 because, you know, the video gaminess of it works more there. Kermit the Frog. This confuses me more than anything. It being a unique looking vehicle bumps it up past 5 anyway. But I think this only gets a 6. The backpack at the back is a nice touch. The fact that this is what you're seeing. This is what she sees. I just feel like this is a bit too bland. It's a bit too safe for the Muppets. Maybe this looks better in green, but as it stands at the moment, it looks too safe. So yeah, that's a 6 for me. This is a 9. This is going to be the first... No, it's not the first, but... This is a 9. It's an ugly looking vehicle. It's an ugly looking vehicle, but it doesn't look like anything you would see in Rocket League. First off. And second off, it looks like an inside out thing. Through and through. This looks like something that those characters would use to get around. And it looks like a vehicle that would exist in that world. It's the kind of thing that you, like, remember. Like, this is what a future car looks like to a 8-year-old. It makes so much sense. This is so close to being a 10. In fact, I will actually change that to a 10. This is a 10. Not because it's necessarily good looking. I personally don't like the look of the vehicle that much, but for theming, how well it looks with the characters in it, like just making sense. It's a 10. It's a 10. The design team knocked it out of the park. Cruella de Vil. I don't have Cruella because I don't want to spend money on Cruella. But this is also a 10. It's just her car from the movie. This is what they should have done with Toy Story. Just take the vehicle that's already in the movie and just translate it, give it a bit of a bit more of this game's art style. Like in this case, it's a bit more compact. It's like been squeezed a bit. That's not a bad thing. That doesn't make it look weird. Cruella herself looks kind of... It's the same thing with like Jafar and Hades, because they're characters that are known for wearing like long cloaks or long coats. Seeing their legs, it's just weird. She looks like a pair of tweezers. She looks like the thing that you fight in Wonderland in Kingdom Hearts 1. The frickin' Trickmaster, the thing with the batons. She looks like that. But as for the cart is perfect. If you're gonna put Cruella de Vil in a game, in a racing game, this is the cart that you give her. 100%. It's a 10 for me. I wish the character was easier to unlock. Actually free to play. But as far as like carts go, it's the best one in the game. It's the most thematically accurate, anyway. So that is it for... That is every car in Disney Speedstorm ranked between 1 and 10. Most of these are generic, but I'm happy to see that, you know, the most recent ones were 10s. I'm happy to see that Gameloft are learning their lesson, and I hope that the Nightmare Before Christmas carts look as unique and thematically accurate as the Inside Out ones. And as much as I don't like the idea of, as much as I would prefer every character to get their own unique vehicle, with the amount of characters in the game and the amount of characters being added with each update, I understand that that's not feasible, or that, I mean, Gameloft are already cutting corners in so many other places, like voice acting, that, you know, you don't want them to add more to the plate, so they end up cutting corners in other places as well. So, I'm fine with this collection-based cart thing that's going on. I'm fine with it, but I would like the carts, if we're only getting one new cart design per season, then, or like 2. We're getting 3 technically this season because Maleficent's gonna have her own cart design. Oh, we're getting 2 because the Pirates didn't get a new cart design. But if that's going to be the case, I'm fine with it. But I want those carts. If you're only doing one, make it a freaking good one. Yeah, that is it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. I'll probably be talking about the 3rd book in the Witcher series. If not, it'll probably be about Disney Speedstorm or something along those lines. I will see you guys then. Hopefully enjoyed. Peace.